Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening in the nation of Zimbabwe? Back again. We got a whole lot of stories. Fire is now getting hotter. A whole lot of things happening. We are seeing inside a plot to neutralize Chiwenga. What is happening? And there is rumors and speculation and hogwash that Zimbabwe President Mnanangwa has gone into hiding. We also see we see none other than Tendai Biti. Yeah, we see Tendai Biti now adding his own rhythm to the beat of the Geza Revolution. And what does he say about the Geza Revolution? He has added more fuel to the fire. What is happening with the Zimbabwe president? Yeah, we're talking about none other than President ED. We're hearing that President ED is living in fear and has now gone into hiding. Wa agwan, in the nation of Zimbabwe.
Point of national interest is directed to the Minister of Finance, whom I'm begging that you make a ruling that he be summoned before this August House to address the issue of illicit financial flows.
Now, Tendai Biti is not new to the game of Zimbabwean politics. He is very brilliant lawyer. We would see even the ruling party cronies hard times in parliament. You can see this showing on the screen, an old image. Tendai Biti alongside Nelson Nero Chamisa, and sitting down there is Zimbabwe President ED. Now this video is going to be an interesting video.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, 69% of our people are living in extreme poverty, surviving on less than US $1.25 a day. Yet this country is extremely rich. We have 64 minerals, including world-class deposits of lithium, of gold, of platinum, of diamonds, of chrome. But we have nothing to show for it. $1 billion is being smuggled out illegally through tobacco smuggling, through gold smuggling. Can the minister come before this August House to lay out a roadmap, legally and otherwise, of how he's going to deal with the corruption, with the gold mafia, and including illicit financial flows, including, Mr. Speaker said, a forensic audit of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, because we can't suffer from the resource case that we are rich but we are poor because a few elite individuals have decided to steal from the people of this country. I thank you very much, Mr.
Former Finance Minister Tendai Biti says Zimbabweans must unite to defend the constitution in the wake of a push by a ZANU-PF faction to extend President Mnanangwa's rule beyond 2028. President Mnanangwa has on more than 5 occasions stated that he doesn't want to stay in power beyond his second and final term. Now we are seeing rumors and speculation that he has gone into hiding. What is happening now? This is not only rumors and speculation. This is a ZANU-PF function. When the 2030 slogan is chanted, ED puts his hand down. Even though the camera view is blocked by that hand, we can see that Zimbabwe president puts his hand down. Let me just rewind and continue it. So we see there Mnangagwa puts his hand down as the 2030 slogan is being chanted. Apatingati Toti. This is a video coming from yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Now we see Tendai Biti speaking. I'm a very busy lawyer, extremely busy. I also do farming. So that also keeps me busy. And then I have various international engagements. The other thing that has been keeping me busy is the government's current attempts to amend the constitution. He says, another thing that has been keeping me busy is the government's current attempt to do what? To amend the constitution of the nation of Zimbabwe. Why would that be stopping Tendai Biti? He then continues saying, it is something we cannot ignore. So I have been engaging a lot of people on how we can defend the constitution. It is something we cannot ignore. So I have been engaging a lot of people on how we can defend the constitution. So that is taking up a lot of my time. Tendai Biti is a key leader in Zimbabwe opposition politics. As the leader in the CCC before it is hijacked. Then we see him in April 2024, he would announce that he was taking a sabbatical from active politics. This decision followed the resignation of CCC leader Nelson Chamisa in January. So Nelson Chamisa resigns in January 2024. Then Tendai Biti in April 2024 takes a sabbatical from the CCC amid claims that the ruling party ZANU-PF had infiltrated the party CCC. Biti's departure was seen as a significant blow to the CCC, exposing internal rows and rifts and raising questions about the party's future. Reports from all over the media houses like Zim-I and Nehanda Radio, we see suggesting that time that BT might leave Zimbabwe, potentially accepting a fellowship in the United States or job opportunities with international financial institutions. Though, as of now, no recent confirmation of this relocation has resurfaced up to this date. Now, prior to his political exit, BT faced legal challenges in February 2024. A Zimbabwean court would fine him $300, sentencing him to 6 months in prison, with 5 months suspended for verbally assaulting a Russian businesswoman, Tatiana Alesina, in 2020. BT's attorney would then appeal all this. Now, on the economic front, BT has remained critical of Zimbabwe's government policies. In April 2024, he labeled the newly launched Zimbabwe gold currency the ZiG a waste of time and a rigi, predicting its rejection by citizens due to lack of confidence. We would see this report in the NCA from the nation of SA, South Africa. From the nation of South Africa. Now, before we go to see Mnanangwa, what is happening with Mnanangwa? We see in a recent address that was made by Julius Malema of South Africa last week, he would be uttering utterances, blowing, punching some punchlines to the ruling party of Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF. And what does he say? This is what he says.
In Zimbabwe, we call on Zimbabweans to stop being cowards and confront Mnangagwa's government and go and reclaim their own country. They cannot continue to stay in South Africa as if they are enjoying life here. You will never enjoy life in somebody else's country. You can only enjoy life if you go home and remove ZANU-PF from power and arrest.
Yes, sir. Fellow Zimbabweans, we see that is Julius Malema there speaking, saying Zimbabweans must go home. He is speaking in light of the upcoming protests that were announced by Comrade Bombshell Geza, as we would see him in his final signal. Now, a few days ago, we see Zimbabwean nurses protesting. It is all pressure that is mounting on the ruling party of ZANU-PF. We see a person that is dressed in a nurse's uniform there holding a placard which reads, "There are no drugs in all the hospitals. There is a genocide in Zimbabwean hospital. Myth 2030 is not something. RIP Zimbabwe." People are dying in hospitals and the hospitals are death traps. No to 2030. Fellow Zimbabweans, this is a very sad and disturbing. We would be seeing some hospitalized Zimbabweans vakaiswa maplaster ema-cardbox, vamwe vakaiswa maplaster ema-plastic. You know the plaster they use kuma-hospital ma-bandage anoiswa ne-plaster. The same plaster yatinoshandisa kuplaster ma-interior yatinoti rhinoset yaya. It would be the same cost. Yauti 50 kg goes for less than $5. Even we don't even need to buy it. Kunocherwa ma limestone is the same. We see kunocherwa that plaster. I'm not sure it's calcium chi. It's a calcium carbon somewhere. I'm not sure it's not calcium carbide. It's a calcium carbon. Then when it's mixed with water, it then cures. Inaita kucherwa. Kunocherwa matombo you know matombo anobezwa nema artists. Now we don't have that in our hospitals. Why don't we have that in our hospitals? Very sad and disturbing. Our government hospitals have nothing. Zimbabweans who are trying to set up their own practices and their own businesses vanomiswa nema licenses anonyanya kudhura mu Zimbabwe. I was watching a video on x.com where a certain lady would be talking about wanting to set up a 10 kilowatt power plant. Just in licensing and legalities, the government of Zimbabwe requires Marinoshka 200,000 just to generate 10 megawatts, not 10 kilowatts. These are very, very sad and disturbing. Like 10 megawatts. 10 megawatts. That's how many kilowatts? That's 10,000 kilowatts. 10,000 ma 1,000 watts. Let me just calculate from a layman's perspective. Kuti 1,000 watts solar panel intermari less than $200. Right? And then we just multiply. Already $200,000. Inogona kuita buy 1,000 of 1,000 watts. So it can buy $200,000 can buy my solar panels and produce 1 million watts or 1,000 kilowatts. Gets from just that's 200,000. But government irikudi kubhadharira vanhu ma licensing fee zvairi kuita ezvinezvi vakuita ma empowerments ema youth vakuita ma empowerments ema war veterans. Why not empowerment for everybody? Obva vati venda wese hurumende yakutengerai my license, indigenous wese hurumende yakutengerai my license. Tombomira zvechi-lying sense, toita sense malize, toita realize kuti ma Zimbabweans need to industrialize, and this industrialization we must sensationalize it, not brutalize Zimbabweans who are trying to galvanize other ways that they can survive because the government cannot provide jobs. Now, what is happening with the Zimbabwe president Emmerson Mnangagwa? There is rumors and speculation that the Zimbabwe president Emmerson Mnangagwa has gone into hiding. Speculation is mounting as Zimbabwe braces for upcoming protests. We go over in Harare. What do we see happening in the nation of Harare? We would see President ED would leave Zimbabwe for Namibia just for 11 hours. Then he comes back very quickly to take the presidential powers from VP Chiwenga, who he would have left as the acting president. So we see Chiwenga as acting president for only 11 hours when ED is in Namibia for the inauguration of Nandi Ndaitwa. Now, as Zimbabwe teeters on the edge of yet another wave of civil unrest, whispers are growing louder that President Emmerson Mnangagwa may have gone into hiding, with reports of planned protests rumored to be scheduled for the March 31st, speculating among opposition groups and disgruntled citizens. The absence of the 82-year-old leader from public view has sparked favored speculation. Could Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa, a political survivor who rose after the 2017 coup against Robert Gabriel Mugabe, be retreating from the spotlight as his grip on the nation is seemingly faltering? Just days ago, Zimbabwe Minister of State for National Security Lovemore Matuke issued a stern warning to war veterans and other factions reportedly plotting demonstrations. And what does he see? What does he say? Not only Lovemore Matuke, we also see Mr. Daniel the Croc.
We want free and fair.
And we even see Tungwara.
You might need detox from the charlatan.
Yes, sir. We see that happening. Now, we see the statement came amid growing agitation from figures like Blessed Geza, who has caused shake-ups and shake-ups and shake-ups and shake-ups and shook-ups. Bombshell after bombshell would be dropped. Even Ethan Matibela would be joining in. ZANU-PF is shaking ever since the utterances by Comrade Bombshell Geza. There hasn't been a single day that we see the ZANU-PF sitting down, politics after politics, every day and night. We see various projects targeting the war vets. Then we see other projects that would be now targeting the war veterans' children. We see them at one time. We see them giving millions and loans to who? To the war veterans. Then we see them start up a housing scheme for the war veterans, and the houses these guys will be building for the war veterans, fellow Zimbabweans. The houses would be looking very, very disturbing. Now, we know ZANU-PF guys, they refer to themselves as tough. Now, as we see the going is getting tougher for them, will they be cracking? We would see them building a house like this one showing on the screen to be giving to war veterans. Then we see Ethan Matipela tells the war veterans, do not accept anything from these guys. What do? The ZANU-PF guys, instead of going harder, because on their own, we are referring to the war veterans, they soften up. What do? They upgrade these housing schemes. They upgrade this war veteran housing thing, and they begin building new types of building for the war veterans. It's not clear how many houses the ZANU-PF would be building. All this is coming in attempts to try to silence the Gaza revolution. We even see Christopher Muchwangwa. He comes out with utterances of his own. What would Christopher Muchwangwa be talking about? He is addressing a heartfelt speech. Comrade Bombshell Gaza telling him, stop being used. You need to come. The Manize project is now ETC. We have now hit headway. He'll be talking about the Manize project. And the Manize project is a $1 billion project. Now, this project is Christopher Muchwangwa involved. Would they be trying to lure Comrade Bombshell with that project? Before we would see Comrade Bombshell escaping the nation of Zimbabwe, we would hear of speculation that he had been offered a bribe, and he did refuse the bribe. Then we would see now Christopher Muchwangwa as all this is happening because there is panicking, there is havoc, there is chaos in the ruling party. This year alone, how many Politburo meetings have these guys held?
We are going to become a major steel fabricator downstream for Southern Africa. A lot of widgets shall be made in Zimbabwe.
A lot of widgets. Widgets in business language means many who benefit can partner into this.
The regional market and for the global market. Runesu is my comrade since 1975. We were together at Chimoyo, in Mozambique. Together, we fought together. We went for additional training in Romania. I went for in progress.
Now the houses that ZANU-PF is now building, this one here is captioned, tackling housing challenges for the war veterans is a priority for the presidential housing scheme, building decent accommodation for war veterans across the country, including war veterans in Marsh East. Murewa getting these 3-bedroom houses today. How many houses, how many images do these guys post? Anything for somebody is welcome. At least because of the utterances by Comrade Bombshell Gaza, these war veterans who had nothing. How many years since 1980? We are now in 2025, from 1980 to the year 2000. That is 20 years. To the year 2020. That is 40 years. Then we are promised the children of Israel would take 40 years to travel from Egypt. They are promised the land. We are now post 40 years. We are now 45 years. We are now approaching half a century after independence. And now we're seeing our war veterans. This is a respectable house for our war veterans, fellow Zimbabweans. Now we're seeing they are doing this and they are posting. So we are doing something. Also, what are they doing? about the ZiG that is consistently losing its value. We are seeing retailers closing in the nation of Zimbabwe. We see the interior of the house there. We see this one has a solar system. Now this solar system is a massive one. 2 batteries down there. We're seeing a hybrid inverter there at the latest technology. Now this type of inverter would be 5,000 to 10,000 watts there. Battery, that type of inverter, baka yega. It's a cold starting. Kunzeza kuni tambo zimagetsi vaisiro masola mamwe magetsi amuna mutambo. Kunoku tingati chitungiza yalare. Kunoku makomboni ekuchitungiza kunoku mvura futi hakuna mpombi. Magetsi mutambo ari kunetsa mvura izvinezvi as I make this broadcast izvinezvi adzoka. But right now I'm actually using an inverter and a battery. I think you can hear my friends in the background going. Now, these are the houses, the 3-bedroomed, fitted kitchen. We're seeing a water heater. Ne bowl pamba. Yay, pressure pump, pressure tank there. We see a pressure tank, water tank, solar there. We're seeing a water heater on top of the house there. And then we see, I think it's galvanized iron sheets there on the roof in. Then the house is fenced. How many houses like such have been built by the ruling party of ZANU-PF for the war veterans? Is it thousands or maybe just 3? Imagine, this is coming from February 17, only 1 month after Zimbabweans would be complaining. So we can agree that when we are hungry, we should say we are hungry. Nekuti mwana asingacheme acheme. Mwe muimba akazimba kuti mwana asingacheme anofira mbereko. We're talking about system tazida we simoko. But right now, fellow Zimbabweans in Zimbabwe, simoko iripo isimoko yema grenade arkudropwa na comrade bombshell Geza. Now, let us continue with this speculation and hogwash of ED having gone into hiding. One person we know who has gone into hiding is the blessed Geza. We see him resurfacing after months in hiding to call for Mnangagwa's ouster, call for Mnangagwa's Zimbabwe President Emerson Mnangagwa's removal. That's where we see who? Comrade Blessed Bombshell Geza resurfacing, and he makes a 30-minute video State of the Nation address in Ozesesa, ZANU-PF, wherever they may be addressed in the nation of Zimbabwe, from Zambezi, base of the nation Kulimpopo. Yopa not Iowa. Blessed Bombshell Geza, the real bombshell. A grenade, quite a soft singing chair we popo. Geza's inflammatory rhetoric accusing the president of economic mismanagement and corruption has reignited tensions in a country already reeling from power cuts, food shortages, and contentions of collapsing currency. Yet Mnangagwa, typically a visible figure at state functions or ZANU-PF rallies, has been conspicuously absent from the public stage this week. No official explanation has been provided by his administration, and presidential spokesperson, it's no longer George Charamba, has remained uncharacteristically silent. This has fueled theories that Mnangagwa may be hunkering down, perhaps in a fortified residence outside Harare, even beyond Zimbabwe's borders. But would he be going outside Zimbabwe to avoid fallout of a potential uprising? Now this uprising The date is very strategic. It's 31 March, one day before 1 April, Zuar on the Fool's Day. Why is it one day just before the Fool's Day? Will the Fool's Day on its own pack something even bigger? We see historical precedent lends credence to such speculation. In January 2019, amid violent protests over fuel price hike, Mnanangwa abruptly cut short an overseas trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos, returning to oversee a brutal crackdown that would leave at least 12 people down, 12 people dead. Critics argue that his absence then was strategic, allowing him to distance himself from the immediate bloodshed while security forces quelled dissent. Could he be employing a similar playbook now, lying low as the military and the police prepare to confront protesters? The stakes are even higher than ever. Mnangagwa's second term, secured in a controversial 2023 election, has been marred by economic woes and internal party strife. The ZANU-PF pushed to amend the constitution for a third term, extending Mnangagwa's rule beyond 2028, has alienated even some of his allies who used to rally behind him, including war veterans like Geza, who once begged his rise and played a role in the 2017 coup. Meanwhile, the opposition, though fragmented since Nelson Chamisa's exit from the Citizens Coalition for Change, since he was the only thing that was cementing the Triple C, Nelson Chamisa remains vocal. He remains a vocal tone in his side. Analysts suggest that Mnangagwa may fear a repeat of the 2017. Not a coup, but this time a mass movement that could force him from power. Rumors of his whereabouts, as rumors we're seeing rumors of his whereabouts swelling. Some are speculating that he is holed up at his sprawling farm in Kwekwe, a known retreat during turbulent times. Others whisper of a discreet exit to a friendly nation, South Africa or China perhaps. Where could he wait out this storm? Posts on X have amplified these theories, with users claiming sightings of military convoys near state residences, though no hard evidence has emerged confirming such movements. The government, for its part, is doubting down information. Well, the government on its part, is doubling down. We see Information Minister Jenfan Muswere dismissing claims of an upcoming poster. What does Jenfan Muswere say? What Muswere says literally is, don't listen to Bombshell Geza. He is coming. That would be the utterances of Muswere, Mr. Muswere.
We want
assure the nation that no violent demonstration will ever see the light of the day. Zimbabweans are encouraged to ignore Geza's delusional
That is the voice of Jenfan Muswere. They're saying Zimbabweans are encouraged to ignore the ramblings by war veteran Blessed Geza. He would be sounding like he's reading there. We see that statement from Jenfan Muswere and many other statements from the ZANU-PF team every day in Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe. Yes, Muswere wese tenge tichingoona naune nyaya dzakadu daru maiwi. We would even see
you might need detox
and the unity of purpose amongst the rank and the file of the youth remain the campus for a united ZANU-PF. And
You'll be launching a presidential something scheme there for the youth. There are many presidential something scheme, presidential goat scheme, presidential pig scheme, presidential first lady scheme, presidential president scheme, presidential cabinet reshuffle scheme, presidential sona address scheme, presidential dream scheme, presidential dream team scheme, presidential Mike Chimombe scam scheme, presidential no scheme scam, presidential Zimbabweans are gonna be screaming on 31 March. Many things are happening in Zimbabwe. Problems many in Zimbabwe. And Chiwenga, where is Chiwenga? Where is VP Chiwenga? Remember, we do show this inside the plot to neutralize VP Chiwenga. We're gonna go there. Let us finish this one first. Fellow Zimbabweans, we are here to give you full detail. Yes, everything and everything. Yes, sir. Because when we do the research, we do it all over. Make sure you good people get good stuff. Yeah. Of course, I try to make it balanced. But hey, I'm also inquiring like any other Zimbabwean. I wish for a change in things. I wish for Zimbabwe, things to be good in Zimbabwe, at least for once. At least for once. Now, this issue of Mnanangwa. Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa going into hiding. We would see Gambakwe speaking on Mnangagwa living in fear, his family living in fear. Now we are seeing speculation of this. Keep on coming. Now, before we go over to see the inside the plot to neutralize Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, we're going to go back into time. What are we going to be finding back in time? Yesterday, we did show a video of Apostle Chiwenga. Apostle Chiwenga there would be acting as an anchor, anchoring VP Chiwenga, saying, if there is one thing about Vice President Chiwenga, they are related. Chiwenga is not a thief, is not corrupt. Murume uya haasi munhu anoda mari yekudaro. Then he would go into further details on a VP Chiwenga. But before we go there, let me take you back in time. The year is 2017. At this time, ED is not yet the president of Zimbabwe. Why are we going back in time? These things will all connect. It will all make sense. Jesse, Pangwechete, what I'm trying to be bringing. But before coming to 2017, let us even go back in the days. Tisati, Tatombonana, Kembumo Hadi, Ama Hadi, Tatatombonana Pelekezela Mpoko, Tisatatombonana ED, Tisatatombonana Timrakawanda back in the days. Madeza Joshua Ngabu Kunyongolo Nkomo, the Vice President of Zimbabwe. Then we see Vamuzenda ne andanyakasikana tokumirari niko, just to refresh our memories. Remember these days.
Andanyakasikana kokuta kozwarini kwezvanya chitambudzika mweya unoera kokuta kozwarini kwezvanya chidzvinyirirwa koenga chaneta wani okumwa misozi totirira kuzamari kweriniko inganguva panguva yechando ingamiti panguva yechando inozoroza inokumbuka mashizha emwana rudekaro kwozoti nokutenda kokunze edombe ramashizha vovavo nenenhere inoveva nyiri nemhuswa nenyuzi zokwezwa nowema kweisuruka rikatsikira riniko vana vacheche vatinobereka vakati vaiweza masimba nhati vakura vakatamwara munyika yakwavo votayava akararamira nokuzvidekadza apana pavo pazvineufuze makumbo avo vavana masuzi nokuvobviswa nerikoche rakasvika munyika kovosikwe piko kuma yenyika nhasi vakatora vakagona paukama hwavo pavochena nhasi vari kudya mafuta ayo nyika isiri kukanokote zvironda nhasi vagere murusununguko nehanda nyakasikana kokuti akozwa rini kwezuva nyaya tichitambudzika mweya unoera kokuti akozwa rini kwezuva nyaya tichidzvinyirirwa koingatanekawani kokuva misozi totirira rini inganguva panguva yechando ingamiti panguva.
That is Comrade Muzenda. Because na Comrade Muzenda nehanda tosvika riniko tichikwangwaya tisina kwatiri kuenda zvinhu zvakaoma zviri kurwadza kunge tiri kurohwa nedanda. Oh my God. Big up to everybody who's watching us live right about now. Panganidzwa Ani says, bless up, one love, keep strong. God bless. Who God bless, no man can curse. Oh yes, I agree with that. And when God bless, it's only progress after progress. There is no distress, no regress. Yeah. Ray Bushu watching. Tinashe Mufa Ndaziva. Enough respect. De Kumalo Bigi Mukwaza says, I'm ready for everything. Arnold Gumbo. Big up. Sidias Chinata says, hi everybody. Greetings. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Andrew says loud and clear. Minyani there. Thank you very much. Remember, I broadcast alone. I'll be tuning the audio, everything and thing. Yes, I use background audio to cover my sound. My friend and I background. And those who harasa chichi, those thugs, those raiders who try to be raiding etc, trying to be torturing me, trying to be interrogating me, but they are just ministering spirits, angels, agents of the devil. Angels of the devil are demons and evil spirits. Big up to Clausius, Ronald, Munaki. He says, Anzi akanonokera mind you ndiye akatanga slogan my way slogan iya yakurizwa kunge keyboard kana kuti organ. Grace Zijena, if Mnanangwa does not want 2030, he should stop these sick people who do not know what they are doing. We are in this mess because of them. They want the constitution which suits them. Gabriel Tembo says youth must wake up and defend the constitution and the country at large for the better future. We can't predict the future. Temba Maposa, George Dow, they say, boss, I hope you are having a good time wherever you are watching us. And I endorse you. Big up there, boss. Constance Masawi, thank you very much. Says, thank you, Doc, for reporting. Thank you very much for that positive feedback. A positive feedback means a lot. Yes, a lot of people who watch TV7 Live actually are good people. They don't have the bystander. Just that comment. It's not a small comment. Comment is very big, bigger than anything. It's a sentiment that is coming from the heart. It's a gift more than money can buy. Thank you very much for your appreciation. It is you who makes TV7 Live great. It's you who makes Castle great. It is you who gives me the energy and strength to keep on bringing videos, to keep on improving. Right. Pangiz Gwa Ani, bless up, one love, keep strong. What God bless, no man can curse. Boss Malo says Chico. Say. Morning, Tembinko Singwenya. Mberi, Sylvester Maketo. Anzina Jose Pasi. Can't this guy speak in order? You can suggest maybe you are saying something. Or maybe you are not used this type of speaking. Maybe that is the case. Maybe you expect me to speak like I'm reporting news. This is not like news. This is buzz. And what do we do in buzz? Political analytics. We are engaging with the Zimbabweans. We are not reporting the news like a robot, like sounding like I'm sounding right about now. Because everything that has been happening in the nation of Zimbabwe, it is said that tomorrow at Victoria Falls, President Mnanangwa will be addressing President Mugabe's mausoleum like Mussolini. Okay, no. This is another different type of broadcasting. Yeah, like you will be hearing on a lot of radio stations. Ladies and gentlemen, what do I call this type of voice? I'm just going to go there just for this brother. Maybe he has something, but I'm just going to be explaining because this style is different. Maybe somebody is not used to it. This is a style that is mainly used for showbiz, for entertaining, but it is the same way we be presenting. Of course, sometimes I'll be going like BBC English, but today I'm not going BBC English. I'm going full on. There is something that is called a toastmaster. Kunemuna anonzi toastmaster. You remember Anashaba ranks one toaster. What does a toastmaster do? Toastmaster is the style that I'm using to be speaking right now. Not necessarily that I'm using Jamaican pidgin or Jamaican patois. No. Toastmaster, toaster. So you say you don't know how this guy will be speaking. If I'm not speaking on a broadcast, vamwe vanogona kutoshandisa vanhu mana Satan idzi dzakadhakwa inzwa zvadziri kutaura kunge dziri kushaura haiwa dzakakaura idzi dzakakuwara idzi hadzina dhiri ari manhu asatani ekuda kudhiritsa. So this is a toastmastering. Toastmaster, toasting, right? Just to be. But however, I am open to any suggestions. Like if you do suggest clearly, what is your suggestion? Here you don't have a suggestion. What you just did, we call it gaslighting. It is gaslighting in active psychology. Do gaslighting. But you are also. Naize nyimi. Naize nyimi. Mnananga chizwa naize nyimi arikunzi abvumire. Kuwengori kune another part. Pane munhu anoyachikuudza kuti una zvikuita munin'ina wako. Basa rokusikura chidai so. Ari kukuudza kuti uite semunin'ina wako. Ari kukuudza passively kuti umuvenge. Hakuna munhu anokuya achikuudza advice yekuti uvake mwana wamai vako achiudza kuti una zvikuita mupana wako. Ini zvarokusikura chidai so. The gaslighting. Fellow Zimbabweans. So, of course, on TV7 Live, here also, any light we have, any information that we have. Of course, we are broadcasting from Zimbabwe. We are a broken nation. Things like that. We have identity crisis, many other crises, midlife crisis. So there is a crab mentality, pull-down mentality. Not from a lot of Zimbabweans. Less than 30%. When Lucifer falls from heaven, he just falls with 33% of the angels. Only that. My attacker are allowed. Here, we are dealing with the issue of Zimbabwe. It's not about me. And this is the president. All right. No. Something. I'll be doing some other things for Zimbabwe. That's my vision. Maybe somewhere in the caliber of great men like Strive Masiwa, who created for Zimbabweans more than 2 million jobs, more than the 2 million jobs that would be promised by ZANU-PF. Now, Vice President Chiwenga, what is happening? Now, Vice President Chiwenga, before we go there, we said we're going to be going back into time in 2017. Kupata Enkana VP Chiwenga. This live broadcast, I make it in 2017. Kuna Joe Tepasi. This is 2025. That is 8 years ago.
When anyone urges the president to pick a successor, automatically they will be saying that they do not endorse Mnangagwa, because Mnangagwa being the vice president means by default and automatically he is the successor. Definition of vice president. Vice president, an officer next in rank to a president who serves as president in the president's absence. This means that if the president is permanently absent, the vice president becomes the permanent president. When President Mugabe appointed Emmerson Mnangagwa vice president, that was a message. The message was, Mnangagwa is Mugabe's successor. As I said before, the job of the vice president is to take over the presidency if the president is no longer there due to various reasons. In a recent Zimbabwe parliament session, we see Fekezela Mfoko indirectly admitting that Emmerson Mnangagwa is above him. Nelson Chamisa asks a question which is directed to both the vice presidents. When Vice President Mfoko stands up, we think he wants to give an answer. But he stands up first, only to say that I am not privileged. Let me refer to my colleague Mnangagwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm not privileged because the bulk of his questions were shown. I want to hand over to him. Thank you.
In this statement, he's just endorsing Mnangagwa. Otherwise, it was not necessary for Vice President Mfoko to stand up first. Mnangagwa would have just responded first, because if it's about Mfoko not being well versed in Shona, they should know who answers the Shona questions by default. But the nature of this question required the vice presidents to make one point straight that Fekezela Mfoko endorses Emmerson Mnangagwa, and everyone should see. Okay guys, that was it for now. And as always, thank you for watching. Remember, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you stay.
Now that is the year 2017. The same things that are happening now would be happening in the year 2017. That guys who are saying, I don't know how you are speaking. I think you can hear. That's how I was doing it. Speaking in the year 2017. Let me even take you back to the year 2017. Just to show you that in the year 2017, when the people of Zimbabwe marched to remove Robert Gabriel Mugabe, I was there, shooting, streaming live from the front, Kanogumila State House. State House. We continue tomorrow. Showing on the screen there, we can see it's a live stream there, titled Now with the Army, Mugabe March, 18 November 2017. We can see there. I'll be streaming in bits and pieces. With my network do work, I'll just play a little bit of it. This is another one here. Now with the Army, 18 November 2017. I would be streaming live. Very way that I'm speaking. The only difference now is the only difference is those days I used to speak with my head voice like the one I'm using right here, right now, that is brighter, like this. But now I'm speaking with my chest voice using the heart right there. Now this video that I'm posting there, That is on 18 November 2017. There, protest iko will be covering all the marches and Nelson Chamisa Chichi from the front line. Let me increase the resolution a bit. I'm streaming using my phone. Why did I go there to march to the State House? What did I know about it on 18 November 2017? Do anything, something better. If you take note, along road in a Holiday Inn and any sports diner, that's the road there, Takuno State House. Just around 60 meters from the State House, you partners stand back.
All right. I'll be taking this one here.
All right, this clip is from Pane building in Chigomonom Tapa building. Yeah, Romai.
All right, people, me left. That way in the middle of a State House. We'll be back. All right.
So from that, I am moving to the State House. You can hear me, Tamiro of State House. Let me just rewind it back again. I'm a statement Tamiro of State House.
All right, people, me left. That way in the middle of a State House. We'll be back. All right. That's it.
So why do I mix with the Jamaican style when I be speaking on a live broadcast? You see, any Zimbabwean who is in broadcasting, at one point in time, they try to be sounding like a Jamaican accent. Big up, big up. People love it and people like it. That's why I man do it. Then this one, another one, let me just verify if it is not the same video clip. So from position and position, right? This time there's not a lot of broadcasters in Zimbabwe, right? We are bringing content there, shooting it live and direct. Then over the past few years, since the COVID-19, I've been under attack from the criminals who murdered my father in the year 2008. Those who think just because they murdered my father, taking advantage of political violence. Yeah, it came in 2008. You are my witch. I'm a delusional people who believe in killing productive people, thinking they can be getting some superpowers. Just because I'm an artist, munge munu anutoda kuti ndife. Ufa kuti iye andijke. Mambo Jesu wakatifira pamchinji kwa kare. We are living. This is no longer BC. We receive Jesus' salvation prayer, and Jesus takes care of the rest.
All right. All right, people, me left. That way.
All right. So I think I made a mistake and did play the same video there. I did play the same video there. Anyways, apologies for that. So that is 18 November 2017. What would I be doing in the year 2017? Among other things, I'll be making a live broadcast covering all this news happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. So, in terms of my trends, how Zimbabwe news trends go, predicting how it's supposed to be going, where it will go, I have a little bit of information. The only difference is I make content that has content. I do not only make selling headlines to get people to click to the video and not get what they come to be seeking. If they don't get what they were seeking, at least they get a little bit of something. What am I doing in 2017? I'll be pushing. Right. It's the same way we are seeing a person post on X.com pushing, and Facebook, on TikTok pushing. It's all Zimbabweans, citizen journalists. We just call them citizen journalists, not necessarily that they're journalists. Journalist means journaling. You write in your diary or in your journal where you keep transactions, you write records of things that are happening. That is journaling. Not journalist as in the term of the traditional journalist, but in terms of journaling. So we see even these videos like this one here, which is titled Mnanangwa back from exile, Mudala Vauya, end of Mugabe. Right. Mnanangwa break from exile. It's time for anti-Mugabe march. Dala Vauya. This time, Zimbabwe test kushandiswa. Right. This one is another way. Is it the same Yama Soldier or this one is the Nelson Chamisa anti-Mugabe march live? I'll be there. Live and direct. Different presentations. We're going back in time.
Welcome to TV7 Live. The Zimbabwe former Vice President Emmerson Mnanangwa, who left the country in a half following his expulsion from the ruling party and government a fortnight ago, is now back in the country. Affectionately known as Ngwena or the crocodile, Mnanangwa went into self-imposed exile after falling out with the incumbent President Robert Mugabe, his boss of more than 55 years. But following the military seizure of power, unconfirmed reports suggest that the former vice president returned to his homeland yesterday evening to pick up the pieces. According to impeccable sources, the 75-year-old politician is likely to be a key figure in the country's transition from Mugabe's.
This is broadcasted when 7 years ago, pakatozvarwa mwana 7 years ago, izvo achatombozviitire mago akutoitwa on your marks get set go pamwe atoko grade 1 akutoita masubject ana stem akutogona kana kutodyara muti asi takugona zvake zvana grafting nebudding kudyara muti through mabuds pastem, but akutozoti end of term takuenda paholiday.
Octopus like grip on power. The vice president is back and is in a military barrack. Remember, he promised that he will be back in a few weeks, and true to his word,
of course, hatikudzoka pasetup kumasutu are cute chichi, but right now we are relatable, trying to simplify the English also, not trying to use a whole lot of complicated language. Unfortunately, I cannot speak this in Ndebele, so I cannot be broadcasting in Shona exclusively.
Zimbabwe, are you seeing what I'm seeing? What happened yesterday, ever again? Just look. Thank you, Chiwenga. Mdara respect. Shit.
I'm just hearing myself there. That part. I never watched this video.
Thank you, Chiwenga. Mdara respect. Shit. mwana uyu mudhara anonzi Chiwenga kauyu ngatimupei sando dzake. Let us give Chiwenga na Mnanangwa sando dzavo man. This is powerful man. I'm just checking but Twitter.
I moved.
What's happening? Unaya kumana. Unaya nyagumana.
7 years ago, I'm referring to X.com Twitter. So Elon Musk acquires it. Twitter ndo panyenya utoro political rhetoric. Yakawanda ma political player yakawanda aripo. Now we have AI, we analyze everything. Even harama pictures akapost kwa. We can check everywhere. It's posted on the internet using other tools. Yesterday, I will be looking into that picture. The military. Where did it originate? It's nowhere else on the web other than Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook, and YouTube also. Nowhere else. Jesus.
We should delete. We should delete this guy. Actually.
I don't take those words. I don't delete.
You want to see his photo again?
Zimbabwe.
I'm just checking out my photos but Twitter pakumana anti Mugabe march. Hashtag Zimbabwe. Just search hashtag Zimbabwe if you have Twitter wherever you are and check out what's happening in Zimbabwe right now. For Facebook, everywhere.
Jesus. That is very powerful. Now, yesterday we did do so, Apostle Chiwenga, in utterances. Utterances by Apostle Chiwenga will be back in PP Chiwenga. Now, still back in time, let me give you a reminder.
Prophecy that is in parable form is going to be a proverbial prophecy. I'll give this prophecy in Shona first, and then I'll also give it in English. This prophecy, chiprofita chine mibvunzo yachinayo. Chinoti icho Adonija zvaakamukira baba akati ndaakuda kutonga baba wangu wanonoka kufa. Akararama here Adonija. Chiprofita chinoti Adonija anga asiri mwana here waDavid. Musi waakatora bhiza akatora hwamanda akaridza. Vanhu vakamhanya naye.
That is Apostle Chiwenga. Remember message. Yeah, Adonija. Yes, those days we didn't have adored war veterans like Comrade Blessed Geza Adininja. We see Apostle Chiwenga Tanga kusumuka into the limelight. He is speaking about Adonija. He doesn't speak about Elijah. No. But he speaks about Adonija. And every Zimbabwean is like, hallelujah. We like positive news. Not necessarily to be told what we want to hear. Even though it may, and I'm not trying to be rude, no offense. It would sound like that. But no. He talks about Adonija. Adonija. Kanzi Adonija achirarama here. Adonija is there. Hana kutiza kunge Jonah. Right. Or team rem Bible. Kana kunetsa unge mambo Nebukadnezar. Mambo Nebukadnezar. No. Adonija renonetsa statement because of Apostle Chiwenga back in the days.
Wakati Adonija ndi mambo anga asiri mwana here wa David. Adonija awusi kupindura chidochi porofita chacho chikugotaurwa chiti achipindura akararama here Adonija. Ko Adonija zvaakapanduka haana kubatsirwa here naJoabhu akanga ari muzukuru. Ko Joabhu anga asiri mukuru wehondo yaDhavhidhi here. Iye Joabhu zvaakamukira sekuru achibatsira Adonija akararama here Joabhu. Ko iye Abhiatari muprista weimba yaMwari haana kumhanyawo here naAdonija akatsigira Adonija Abhiatari kusvikira Solomoni ava kutonga anoti dai usiri munhu akambomira paatari ndakubaya achada kukuona muguta reJerusarema enda kumba kwako wadzingwa mabasa reuprista. Abhiata pakamhanya Adonija apandukira mambo akamhanyawo naye Abhiata. Zadhoki ndiye asina kuenda naye naNathani muprofita waMwari ndo vakaenda kuna mambo vakati mambo mamukirwa chiendai munogadza Solomoni mamukira aita Adonija mukasiya zvakadai anoramba achitonga. Haana kumbotonga here Adonija kusvikira Solomoni agara pabhiza. Haana kumbotonga. Hakuna here vakavigira Adonija zvipo vachiti ava mambo. Hakuna here vakavigira Adonija zvipo. Kwaiye Joabhu akanga apindwa nei kuti achiziva zvakanga zvarehwa naMwari achishandisa Nathani muprofita kuti achatonga panzvimbo yaDhavhidhi ndiSolomoni. Sei Adonija, sei Joabhu akamhanya naAdonija.
Now this story that is coming here, tikalainisa vanhu ava vari kutaurwa naApostle Chiwenga kuma characters or ma actors ma players ari muZimbabwe politics. Ndiani Adonija, ndiani Solomon, ndiani Joab. Let's listen with that in mind.
I'm going to give a prophecy that is in parable form. It's going to be a proverbial prophecy.
Parable, it means at par, paside ne paside, paring at par. You can compare. You can par. Kutange stencil. Those know they are parable. Then he goes, it's a proverbial. Verb is a name. Pro means in place of. Like in the book Animal Farm, some people are referred to as pigs, some dogs. Chichi knows that people who are referred to as dogs. One are promiscuous, one are dead. Chichi, those are proverbial. Proverbial. A verb is the name of a thing. Pro, in place of, or representing, or for. Parable. So he makes it clear it's a parable. Victoranya is engano, but batanizai. Is exact literal words.
I'm going to give a prophecy that is in parable form.
Prophecy means pro. The word pro means before again. Pair from the word phonetic means to speak. Speak before, speak ahead of time. That is to prophesy. A lot of people confuse prophecy in a word of knowledge. Or seeing, you must see a time traveling, seeing into the future. But prophecy is speaking the truth, speaking the mind of God. That is a prophecy. You may prophesy into your own life. You may prophesy into your own future. Speak positive into your future before it happens. That is prophesying, speaking before it happens. That is prophecy.
It's going to be a proverbial prophecy. Jatanga ndaitaura neShona I'll give this prophecy in Shona first, and then I'll also give it in English. This prophecy, chiprofita ichi, chine mibvunzo yachiinayo. Chinoti icho Adonija zvaakamukira baba akati ndaakuda kutonga baba wangu wanonoka kufa. Akararama here Adonija. Chiprofita chinoti Adonija anga asiri mwana here waDhavhidhi. Musi waakatora bhiza akatora hwamanda akaridza. Vanhu vakamhanya naye vakati Adonija ndimambo. Anga asiri mwana here waDhavhidhi. Adonija hausi kupindura ndo chiprofita chacho. Chikungotaurwa chiti hachipindurwa. Akararama here Adonija. Ko Adonija zvaakapanduka haana kubatsirwa here naJoabhu akanga ari muzukuru. Ko Joabhu anga asiri mukuru wehondo yaDhavhidhi here. Iye Joabhu zvaakamukira sekuru achibatsira Adonija. Akararama here Joabhu. Kuiye Abhiatari muprista weimba yaMwari haana kumhanyawo here naAdonija. Akatsigira Adonija Abhiatari. Kusvikira Solomoni ava kutonga anoti dai usiri munhu akambomira paatari ndakubaya. Achada kukuona muguta reJerusarema enda kumba kwako. Wadzingwa mabasa rouprista. Abhiata. Pakamhanya Adonija apandukira mambo. Akamhanyawo naye Abhiata. Zadhoki ndiye asina kuenda naye. naNathani muprofita waMwari. Ndo vakaenda kuna mambo vakati mambo mamukirwa. Chiendai munogadza Solomoni. Mamukira aita Adonija. Mukasiya zvakadai anoramba achitonga. Haana kumbotonga here Adonija kusvikira Solomoni agara pabhiza. Haana kumbotonga. Hakuna here vakavigira Adonija zvipo vachiti ava mambo. Hakuna here vakavigira Adonija zvipo. Kwaiye Joabhu akanga apindwa nei kuti achiziva zvakanga zvarehwa naMwari achishandisa Nathani muprofita kuti achatonga panzvimbo yaDhavhidhi ndiSolomoni. Sei Adonija, sei Joabhu akamhanya naAdonija. Kwaicho chinosaka Adonija ade kuvata pamubhedha wababa chii. Chapera chiprofita changu.
Now, we would see in the latest video, we see now Apostle Chiwenga backing Vice President Chiwenga. Let us watch that, listen to that one before we go into the characters. Who is Adonija? Who is Abhiata? Who is Solomon? What happened in that story? How does it connect? God is alive. God speaks. The word of God is God. God is his word. He works in his word and he speaks. Purpose of the word of God is not for some science experience. Mwari ndi baba wedu, ndiye akatisika. Ndiye akasika iviri ratinotsika. Ratinopwanyirana dzimba tichiti mumwe akaimba. Ndiye akasika mhepo yatinofema, michero yese yatinodya. Let us take this moment to reflect on our lives. You know your mother, you know your father. If you have a child, you know your child. Right? Mwana wako. That's who you are to God. Mwana wa Mwari. God is your God. Iwewe utori mwana wa Mwari. Just tell yourself uri mwana wa Mwari, and tell someone umbuza ndiri mwana wa Mwari, and unozere kuti iwe uri mwana wa Mwari. Like Mwari haasi ZANU-PF, haasi Mnanangwa. Mwari ndi baba vedu. Like that's who he is to us. God is not a stranger. God is not dead. We may have killed him in our own lives. He is there. God doesn't come akapfeka masutu. Ekilia zestesi kanyiro na Solomon. For everything there's a time and a season. And for everyone, time and chance happens to everybody. Everybody has his encounter with God himself. God iye ega anouya kwa uri. Chinotendeusa munhu haasi pastor. But it is God, the Spirit of God, that brings conviction. It is the Spirit of God that brings the salvation. Why am I talking about that, God? I should not apologize for talking about God, but we have been estranged. He's like a stranger. People would complain about seemingly diverting a topic to God. God is the reason why we are here. God is the main subject. Personally, I put God first in everything I do. And I put God last in everything I do, including before I speak every word. God first, God last. Alpha and the Omega.
I'm going to give a prophecy that is in parable
for our nation, but the situation is not good. With all the love that we have for our nation, but the situation is not good. I maintain the words that I said in 2017 and in 2018. It was a better option. It was a better option for our vice president to not have joined Mr. Mnangagwa's government. I'm sure when he looks in hindsight now, he can see the experience that he has had and discovered that he could have achieved more by being perhaps an advisor outside the presidium. But all hopes are not lost. It is possible for something good to come out of him because he has learned a lot of lessons. I would like you to know that a person can have many weaknesses, but nobody has no weakness in all the world. But when it comes to the position of leadership, there are weaknesses that are better than others. For example, when you deal with a person who is inexperienced, he is better than a person who is a thief. Because with a thief, there will be nothing for anyone except himself and his cronies and his minions and his muppets. I hope you are understanding the language with which I am speaking.
The language with which I'm speaking.
That I can tell you today that Vice President Chiwenga is not that he is not a thief. He doesn't have a desire for money. He is not greedy with money. And yet we are in a nation where money is our biggest problem. Most of our problems need money to fix them. We can't build roads without money. We can't refurbish our hospitals without money. We can't pay our servants without money. I will not speak beyond what I have said now. Those who have worked closer to him, those who know him personally, those who have read him in the newspapers, and those who hear from God can all agree about what I've just said. The last prophecy I have is that we are sitting on a difficult situation right now, a very difficult situation as a nation, a very difficult situation. I'm telling you right now that the nation is bleeding, the nation is in trouble, but there is a chance that the nation can get into a deeper trouble.
Fellow Zimbabweans, remember Father Fidelis Mkonori. What role did he play in Zimbabwe's coup? He's a man of cloth. We would call him a reverend, a preacher, or a pastor, a bishop. Father Fidelis is a father. What role does he play in the coup? Is he Adonijah? Is he the Adonijah that Apostle Chiwenga is referring to? And obviously, President Mugabe would be King David here. Remember, he said parable. Like the biblical words are literal. Sorry, not Abiata. Sorry, not Adonijah. Abiata. Adonijah is the military. Maybe Adonijah would VP Chiwenga be the Adonijah. Abiata is one of David's key priests alongside Zadok. Right? Duma Prisita. He would be there from the days of King Saul. Right? Then something does do happen. Right? Remember the time where we see David would be slaying Goliath after shooting him with a slingshot, the first gun with a projectile yakaskonobura up a forehead, but Goliath was on check Soro. Then family yake is killed. Netimurana Goliath. So would order the massacres of priests at Nob after something had happened. Then we see him aided by David, giving him bread, and Goliath told. Right? Then, take note, David, Anabastrashi, Abiata, priest. Right? Then Abiata is a sole survivor, escaping to join King David, who was a fugitive from King Saul. Right? Now we are seeing David. David is now about to become a king. What happens? Adonijah declares himself king, holding a festival with Joab and Abiata. Abiata Aripo, he knows who is supposed to be the rightful. Then remember this picture, Yamugabe, where he comes out in a video saying, "We must undo this coup. We must undo this coup." He says, "We must undo this." That would be his first interview since the coup d'etat. At that time, he's 94 years old. He speaks to SABC. From his home, he would be speaking very slowly at that time, saying, "Must undo this coup." Right now, where we are, fellow Zimbabweans, the big question lying in many Zimbabweans' minds is what happens next. Just gonna run a short clip of that video. There, where he says we must undo that coup, and it seems that an advert is coming. In the name of Jesus. Lara Pasha Patareti.
I never thought he whom I had nurtured and brought into government and whose life I had worked so hard in prison to save.
Who I've nurtured and brought into government. Remember, we were parting with Apostle Chiwenga's message.
With hanging. That one day he would be the man who would turn against me. He could never have assumed.
He who I have nurtured now is Mnanangwa the Adonijah that Chiwenga will be speaking about. And who is the Solomon? Who is the Solomon? We see him in other utterances saying, "Mwari ariku prepare banu vake." Who is the Solomon that Apostle Chiwenga faced to time and time again? Is it maybe Chamisa? Is it maybe Chiwenga? Or maybe Tribe Masiwa? Or maybe you?
the presidency of the country without the army. It's the army which assisted him. The army made sure have assumed the presidency of the country without the army. It's the
has assumed the presidency of the country without the army. Take note what Mugabe is saying there. He has assumed the presidency of the country without the army. After a coup, the army should be part of the transitional authority. Because it would be a coup. It would be a coup. It would be called a soft coup because it would be a soft coup. My impeachment, chichi, all those are rhetorical actions. But what did do happen? We know what happened. And Mugabe says without the army. Why does he say without the army? Take note of the pace he uses and the emphasis he puts there, without the army.
The presidency of the country without the army.
Without the army. He's trying to say that helped him. He assumed the presidency of the country without the army.
It's the army which assisted him.
The army which assisted him.
The army made sure that the other organs of state were neutralized, completely neutralized.
The army made sure other organs, other security organs of the state
Must undo this disgrace which we have imposed on ourselves. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. Please, we don't deserve it. Zimbabwe doesn't deserve it. Undo this disgrace.
is moved.
Imposed on ourselves. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it.
What does Mugabe know? What did he know then? Talking about.
Please, we don't deserve it.
Don't deserve it, please. But there are a lot of things. There's a book of laws, laws of Moses, the laws that would bring democracy, that allow a leader to swear an oath. Remember, there is Father Fidelis. What role does Father Fidelis as a priest play? What role does a chief justice play? Remember, when you die, a doctor has to declare you dead first. That's some spiritual power. Somebody who declares you dead. What if they declare you alive? Don't know if anybody has tried that. But the power of life and death is in the mouth. Right? Then you need a court for the burial order, etc. When we see Morgan Changirai would be winning the election, we see him complaining, State House. Right? When you win an election, who takes you to State House or that were president? Has anybody ever thought of that? So we hear Zimbabwe president saying, we must undo this. Now is the Adonija.
For our nation, but the situation is not good. With all the love that we have for our nation, but the situation is not good. I maintain the words that I said in 2017 and in 2018. It was a better option. It was a better option for our Vice President to not have joined Mr. Mnangagwa's government. I'm sure when he looks in hindsight now, he can see the experience that he has had.
He's saying it was better if VP Chiwenga had remained. If VP Chiwenga had remained in the military. However, speaking on Chiwenga remaining in the military, see online some pictures where we see VP Chiwenga. Sometimes we see him. Behind him there will be a Zimbabwe flag and a Zimbabwe Defense Forces flag in some images. All the time where he would be Minister of Health, he would be operating from some of the barracks or from defense houses. I'm just speculating. I just don't want to be clear. There because it's an issue of state security. There's a time I would be looking for him around 2021. After I had made a visit to the RBZ and I discovered something that I discovered there. He would be working from there. Like this image, we see him there. Right? That's a Zimbabwe flag, but here, that's a Zimbabwe Defense Forces flag behind him. There are images, we see him in images like that.
And discovered that he could have achieved more by being perhaps an advisor outside the presidium. But all hopes are not lost. It is possible for something good to come out of him because he has learned a lot of lessons. I would like you to know that a person can have many weaknesses, but nobody has no weakness in all the world. But when it comes to the position of leadership, there are weaknesses that are better than others. For example, when you deal with a person who is inexperienced, he is better than a person who is a thief.
I'm going to give a prophecy that is in parable form. It's going to be a proverbial prophecy. I'll give this prophecy in Shona first, and then I'll also give it in English. This prophecy prophesies. Adonija zvakamukira baba akati ndakuda kutonga kunoonga vanonoka kufa akararama ere Adonija.
Now Adonija is King Solomon's fourth son, right? There is Adonija. Then we see Adonija now directly challenges Solomon's eventual anointing. After his initial failure, Adonija submits to Solomon. After a failure, right? Then he requests Abishang. Abishang would be a young woman brought to save David in his old age. Then after David's death, Adonija requests her as a wife. Right? So when submitting to Solomon, he requests her. Then this would see Solomon ordering his death. Right? Then Adonija and Joab, as David's nephew and military chief, aligns with Adonija, likely to secure his position against Solomon's rising faction. Their alliance is pragmatic and not understandable. Then Solomon consolidates power. Then we see Joab's execution. All these executions, pane zvinozoitika zvinozoleda to that. Vanotrai kuramba vachiita futi. The divided court, Adonija's faction versus Solomon and Nathan Zadok and Benaiah and Bathsheba, with David as the pivotal figure whose decision resolves the conflict. We see Adonijah's bid. Adonijah declares himself king, holding a feast with Joab and Abiathar. Right. Solomon's anointing. David orders Solomon's anointing. This spoils Adonijah's plan. Then Adonijah flees to the altar, but is pardoned by Solomon after surrendering. Is pardoned after surrendering Adonijah. Then we see King David dies, and Adonijah asks for Abishai via Bathsheba. Solomon interprets this as treason and has Benaiah kill Adonijah. Right? And Joab, fearing Solomon's wrath, flees to the altar, but is executed by Benaiah on Solomon's command. Oh, this is happening. We are parting. I'm not being explicit, but I'm being clear. I'm not hiding anything. I'm just not giving a suggestion. Oh, this is happening. Abiathar would be one of David's key priests alongside Zadok. Key priest. What was Father Fidelis Mkono doing negotiation? There was also Gideon Gono. All those guys. What information do they have? Here Mugabe says he takes the presidency without the army. Without the army. That one, we rest it there. Yes, I have to go quicker before we sign out. Big up to everybody who was watching us live. This has been a great show. I enjoyed this show. Thank you to everybody who was watching us live. Our fellow Zimbabweans. Do keep supporting TV7 Live as we keep on improving our broadcast. Remember, I work alone. I remember location, yes, at the end. Okay, Martha Smith, can you explain further so I can understand? I'll try to read again, but if you are still watching us live, can you clarify? Yes, okay, I'll try that. I think I've noted something. I think I will be noting that. Any positive, why don't you try with this? Why don't you try this? It's something that is workable with. Yes, we learn from other people. If we don't learn, how can we learn if we don't learn? We learn by learning, right? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? What are you doing? What are you doing? No, I'm open to anybody who comes with any critique. Any critique simply means to analyze. Now, VP Chiwenga, what is happening with VP Chiwenga? We see an article published by the Standard Zimbabwe speaking on VP Chiwenga. VP Chiwenga. Is this speculative? Is this for real? We even hear Apostle Chiwenga speak on something like that in his message, but not this video particularly. Some things are too sensitive. I don't necessarily put them.
Who is occupying a very powerful position? Who is well known for his expertise in killing people?
Make your side hustle hustle.
Right, we're hearing those words out there by
Chiwenga. Is our biggest problem. Most of our problems need money to fix them. We can't build roads without money. We can't refurbish our hospitals without money. We can't pay our servants without money. I will not speak beyond what I have said now. Those who have worked closer to him, those who know him personally, those who have read.
Now, a fresh wave of political intrigue has gripped Zimbabwe as sources within ZANU-PF and security cycles allege that President Emerson Mnangagwa is orchestrating a covert plan to sideline his powerful Deputy Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. According to insiders, speaking on condition of anonymity, this scheme involves a strategic cabinet reshuffle and a shake-up within the ruling ZANU-PF and within the Zimbabwe National Army Command structure aimed at diluting Chiwenga's influence ahead of an anticipated power struggle. This alleged plot comes at a time of heightened tensions within the ruling party, with Mnangagwa's faction reportedly growing worry of Chiwenga's lingering authority as the former military commander who spearheaded the 2017 coup that ousted Robert Gabriel Mugabe and paved the way for Mnangagwa's presidency. Post on X from outlets like Nehanda Radio and My Zimbabwe News would on 23 March, that is yesterday, claim the Standard has reported that Mnangagwa intends to neutralize Chiwenga through these maneuvers, though the official confirmation remains elusive. Okay, 2 more minutes. Sources suggest that the cabinet reshuffle could see Chiwenga stripped of key responsibilities, possibly relegating him to a ceremonial role or transferring him to a less influential portfolio. Concurrently, a reorganization of the Zimbabwe National Army leadership is said to target officers loyal to Chiwenga, replacing them with Mnangagwa-aligned figures. The president knows Chiwenga still commands respect within the barracks. A senior ZANU-PF official reportedly would tell the Standard that this is about cutting off his military lifeline. The backdrop to this alleged scheme is Mnangagwa's apparent determination to extend his rule beyond the constitutional limit of 2028, a move fiercely opposed by the Chiwenga supporters